What if I told you the future of how money moves across the globe might be shaped by two cryptocurrencies created by the same person? This isn't science fiction or speculation. It's happening right now, and at the center of it all are XRP and Stellar. On the surface, they may seem similar, fast, scalable, and focused on cross-border payments, but underneath, they represent two completely different visions for the future of global finance. One is corporate, aligned with the world's largest banks and financial institutions. The other is grassroots, designed for financial inclusion and accessibility for the unbanked. This isn't just a competition between technologies, it's a battle of ideologies, and understanding both sides is critical to knowing where the future of money is headed. Let's begin with the heavyweight that started it all, XRP, back in 2012. Ripple Labs set out to create something radically different. Instead of building a cryptocurrency to fight the financial system, they decided to fix it from within. At that time, the global banking system was running on SWIFT, a messaging protocol created in the 1970s, but SWIFT isn't a payment system, it's just a communication layer. It tells banks that a transfer is coming, but the actual money can take days to arrive. Add on top of that foreign exchange fees, middlemen, and outdated infrastructure, and cross-border transfers become expensive and slow. Ripple's solution was XRP, a digital asset that could be transferred instantly across borders without needing banks to hold pre-funded accounts in other countries. By using XRP as a bridge between currencies, they aimed to eliminate those inefficiencies once and for all. XRP works differently from traditional cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. It doesn't rely on mining. Instead, it uses a consensus algorithm involving trusted validators to confirm transactions. That means XRP can process up to 1,500 transactions per second with finality in about 3 to 5 seconds, and transaction costs are just a fraction of a cent. Ripple didn't just build a coin, they built an entire infrastructure, RippleNet, on-demand liquidity. And the XRP ledger were designed specifically to give financial institutions the tools they needed to move money quickly and efficiently. For example, imagine a bank in Brazil wants to send $10 million to Japan. Normally, this would take multiple days and cost thousands in fees. With XRP, that same transaction can settle in seconds, at almost no cost, with no need for a correspondent banking relationship. Ripple focused their strategy on partnering with financial institutions instead of trying to disrupt them. And that strategy worked. Over the past decade, Ripple has signed over 300 partnerships with banks, payment providers, and remittance services. Major names like Santander, SBI, and American Express have all worked with Ripple to explore or implement cross-border payment solutions. The strongest adoption has come from Asia and the Middle East, where Ripple's technology is already being used for real-world money transfers in corridors like Japan, to the Philippines and Thailand, to Europe. These aren't hypothetical pilot programs. These are live working systems moving real funds in real time. It's a level of adoption most crypto projects only dream of. But with great reach comes controversy. XRP was pre-mined with a total supply of 100 billion tokens. A large portion of those tokens were retained by Ripple Labs, which raised concerns about centralization. Critics argue that Ripple holds too much control over the asset, both in terms of token distribution and network influence. And then there's the SEC lawsuit. In late 2020, the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission filed a complaint against Ripple, alleging that its sale of XRP constituted an unregistered securities offering. This legal battle sent shockwaves through the crypto industry and sparked a major debate about how digital assets should be regulated. Since then, Ripple has achieved partial legal victories, and the case is still unfolding, but the uncertainty has made some investors cautious, at least within the United States. Outside the US, Ripple's momentum continues to grow, particularly in regions where regulatory clarity around crypto is more advanced. Despite the legal hurdles and criticism, one thing is undeniable. Ripple has successfully integrated XRP into real financial use cases on a global scale. And for investors, that means the potential for long-term growth is closely tied to whether the traditional financial system chooses to evolve using blockchain, or whether it collapses under its own weight. Ripple is betting on evolution, and XRP, as its core tool, is positioned to serve a world where banks still play a central role, but operate faster, cheaper, and with more transparency. It's a vision that resonates with institutions and regulators. But not everyone believes in saving the system. Some believe it should be replaced entirely. That's where Stellar comes in. And that story starts with the same man who helped create XRP and then walked away to build something radically different. To understand Stellar, you first need to understand the man behind it. Jed McCaleb was one of the original founders of Ripple. He helped launch XRP. He believed in fast, frictionless money. But in 2013, just a year after Ripple's founding, he left the company. The split wasn't quiet. McCaleb disagreed with Ripple's vision of building tools for banks and institutions. He believed blockchain should be used to empower the people, not reinforce the power of existing financial giants. And so he walked away, taking that original idea of decentralized finance and building something new from the ground up. In 2014, Stellar was born. Unlike Ripple, Stellar was launched as a nonprofit with the Stellar Development Foundation at its core. Its mission was bold: to create an open financial system that gives everyone, regardless of income or location, access to the global economy. While Ripple went after the banks, Stellar went after the unbanked. Their goal was to reach the nearly 2 billion people around the world who still have no access to traditional banking services. That meant building a system that was fast, cheap, secure, and open to anyone with a basic internet connection or mobile phone. Like XRP, Stellar's token known as Lumens, or XLM, can be used as a bridge currency between different fiat currencies. It supports fast transactions, typically settling in 2 to 5 seconds, with fees so low they're almost invisible, around 1/10,000th of a cent per transaction. But the real strength of Stellar lies in its simplicity and openness. Anyone can build on the network. Anyone can issue a token, create a wallet, or connect local currencies to the system. It's like the Internet of Money, borderless, neutral, and built for scale. While Ripple focuses on signing deals with multinational banks, Stellar has quietly formed partnerships with tech companies, governments, and humanitarian organizations. One of the most notable is IBM. In 2017, IBM announced it would use the Stellar network as the foundation for its worldwide payment platform. The idea was to connect financial institutions around the world using blockchain and bridge assets like XLM. The partnership allowed banks in far-flung regions to transact in real time, bypassing the need for US dollar clearinghouses or multiple intermediaries. Stellar also played a key role in humanitarian aid programs, allowing NGOs to distribute digital vouchers and cash directly to those in need, especially in areas affected by war or disaster where traditional banking infrastructure is non-existent. But perhaps the most intriguing move by Stellar in recent years has been its involvement with central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs. In 2021, the Ukrainian government selected Stellar as a technology partner to explore the development of its national digital currency. That announcement shocked the crypto world. While XRP was still battling the SEC in court, Stellar was quietly positioning itself as a government partner while still remaining open source and decentralized. This gave Stellar credibility in the growing conversation around digital fiat, stablecoins, and government-backed tokens. Another factor that sets Stellar apart is its approach to supply. Like XRP, Stellar was also launched with a large supply of pre-minted tokens, initially 100 billion XLM, but in 2019, the Stellar Development Foundation burned over half of that supply, permanently removing 55 billion tokens from circulation. This move was unprecedented in crypto. It wasn't done because of investor pressure. It was done to improve trust and to demonstrate that Stellar had no intention of becoming a profit-driven corporate giant. That moment marked a clear philosophical shift in how Stellar wanted to be seen by the world. Still, Stellar is not without challenges. While it has a strong mission and growing partnerships, it lacks the media spotlight and hype machine that surrounds bigger cryptos like Ethereum or Solana. Its approach is quieter, more methodical. Some critics argue that Stellar's lack of aggressive marketing and slower pace of growth may limit its adoption. Others see this as a strength, pointing out that real-world infrastructure takes time, and Stellar is laying deep roots for a long-term future rather than chasing short-term pumps. What's undeniable is that Stellar represents a radically different vision from XRP, where Ripple wants to make existing systems faster and more efficient. Stellar wants to build entirely new systems that don't rely on legacy infrastructure. Where Ripple works through high-level corporate deals, Stellar empowers developers and communities at the grassroots level. The contrast is sharp, but the end goal is similar. Make moving money across the world as easy as sending an email. In many ways, Stellar is betting that the future of finance won't be decided by central banks or massive corporations, but by individuals, people who need to send $10 to a loved one in another country. Small businesses trying to accept payments from international clients, aid workers trying to reach people in remote conflict zones. Stellar isn't trying to impress Wall Street. It's trying to reach the streets that Wall Street forgot. So when we talk about Stellar versus XRP, we're not just talking about technology or speed or transaction cost. We're talking about fundamentally different beliefs about how money should work in the digital age. And in this world of growing inequality, decentralized networks, and financial evolution, those beliefs matter more than ever. But the question remains, which one is better positioned for the future? To answer that, we have to look deeper, not just at how they work, but at where they're headed next, and how investors should think about the long-term potential of both. Because in the end, this isn't just a rivalry. It's a window into what the next global financial system might actually look like. And then comes one of the most overlooked, yet crucial aspects in this whole debate: perception. Public and institutional perception of XRP and Stellar shapes everything from adoption and partnerships to regulatory perception and media narrative. XRP, for better or worse, has carried the weight of being viewed as a corporate giant trying to reshape global finance from the top down. That kind of image invites regulatory scrutiny, sparks debates about decentralization, and divides the crypto community. Some see Ripple as a savior of the broken traditional system. Others see it as a threat to the decentralized ideals blockchain was founded on. On the flip side, Stellar has cultivated a more grassroots, humanitarian-focused image. It presents itself as the people's protocol, a bridge between modern finance and the unbanked. It partners with governments, yes, but the tone and nature of those partnerships feel different. While Ripple aims to replace or enhance Swift, Stellar seems content building new lanes alongside the old highways. This distinction, subtle as it may seem, impacts how developers, institutions, and users interact with both ecosystems. But perception doesn't tell the whole story. Underneath the surface, both XRP and Stellar are relentlessly chasing the same vision: frictionless, instant, and universal value transfer. And while the means may differ, Ripple focusing on enterprise corridors, Stellar targeting financial inclusivity, their endgame converges. The real question is, which strategy will prove more scalable, sustainable, and adaptable? In a world that's changing faster than regulators can write legislation, let's talk adoption now. RippleNet, Ripple's network, boasts over 300 institutional clients, including banks and payment providers. It's live in over 40 countries. XRP is being tested in pilot programs for cross-border settlements, and major financial players are actively exploring its utility. Meanwhile, Stellar has found success in areas that don't often make headlines, like remittances in Nigeria, stablecoin development in South America, and partnerships with humanitarian organizations. While less flashy, these integrations may plant seeds for deeper, more organic growth. And then there's the future. The landscape is evolving. Central bank digital currencies are becoming a reality. AI-driven financial systems are emerging. New regulatory frameworks are forming across the globe. In this chaos lies opportunity and risk. XRP, now free from the weight of the SEC lawsuit, can finally run at full speed. Stellar, backed by a foundation that's steadily forming global relationships, can quietly scale in regions where infrastructure is still being built. So, which is better, XRP or Stellar? That depends on what you value. If you want aggressive, institution-backed disruption with high liquidity and bold moves, XRP might be your choice. But if you believe in sustainable growth, inclusive finance, and subtle transformation, Stellar could be the quiet revolution worth betting on. In the end, it's not just a battle between two tokens, it's a battle of ideologies, top-down versus bottom-up, institutional trust versus community access, velocity versus stability. Maybe the world doesn't need one winner. Maybe both XRP and Stellar will form the dual engine that finally powers a new era of global finance. And now, I want to hear from you. Which project do you believe has the most potential to lead the future of global payments? XRP or Stellar? Comment down below with the word revolution. So I know you watched until the end. And if you found this video valuable, don't forget to subscribe to Wealth Unlocked. Hit that like button and share this video with someone who still thinks Swift is the future. Because now you know better. We're just getting started. And maybe now you're starting to see what was hidden all along. That beneath the banking systems, behind the headlines and the noise, there's a quiet war for control, not just of money, but of time, influence, and trust. While the world watches the obvious, the real revolution often happens where no one's looking. And it's not about choosing sides, it's about understanding the system so you can rise above it. If this made you think deeper about your money, your freedom, and your future, then this is just the beginning. We built Wealth Unlocked to uncover the truths most won't tell you. So, if you're ready to take control, hit that subscribe button now. It tells the algorithm you one of us, the ones who sleep on information that could change everything. And here is a challenge. Drop the keyword control the system in the comments if you made it this far. That's how we know you're serious about unlocking your financial power. This is Wealth Unlocked. Stay sharp and always follow the money.